Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' petty quarrel with Disney has now entered the phase of defund the police to own the libs. I'm not even kidding. That is what his appointed board is currently working to do. So the board that DeSantis appointed to oversee Disney Special District is now looking to cut millions of dollars from the very deputies who protect the park's guests. So during a Wednesday meeting, officials said the previous board spent $8.2 million to be exact, every year on law enforcement overtime on Disney properties. Now the board is doing away with that spending and cutting $8 million used to pay law enforcement officers in off-duty shifts, saying the cost of fighting Disney in court has caused it to have to find money in other places. Okay, so this is so incredible. Now, there is currently a deal in place with the Orange County Sheriff's Office that will last through the fall of 2024. So any cuts that they make will impact the deputies and impact Disney after the fall of 2024. Now, Martin Garcia, who is the chairman of the DeSantis-appointed Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, said this: there was spending on a number of fronts that was wasteful. $8 million was being used for law enforcement services exclusively on Disney properties, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Further, Garcia noted, as we are doing more work, it appears there are a number of other naughty things that this old board did with district funds. Now, $8 million does sound like a lot of money when it comes to policing of the Disney resorts in Florida. But I do want to give you some proper context in case you're unfamiliar with how much land they control there and just how many parks they oversee. So apparently Disney has about 25,000 acres in Florida. And so those are the 25,000 acres that the police deputies would patrol. They have 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, golf courses, dozens of hotels, shops, restaurants, and bars. And I didn't know this, but part of the reason why Disney has control of that land is because back in the 1950s, I believe it was, when they wanted to develop that land, the state had no money. They could not help with that development. They couldn't help with roads. They couldn't help with the infrastructure necessary to support the resorts. So Disney is basically use their resources to build all the infrastructure in that town in order to accommodate the theme parks that they later built. So they also do contribute taxes to the state of Florida. This is very different from some of these sweetheart deals and the subsidized projects that other states do for, let's say, Amazon warehouses. Don't think of it that way because it is different from those subsidies. But Cenk, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, when I first saw this story breaks into 2 different parts. One is, should DeSantis have gone after Disney in the first place? That's an easy one. Disney just said, hey, we don't approve of the Don't Say Gay bill. They didn't even call it the Don't Say Gay bill. They called it its real name. They didn't do anything. Like, it was just like an empty statement. And so like, if you're in the LGBTQ community, there's nothing even to be too happy about. I get, okay, good, a company said something nice, but there was no consequences, no nothing. Okay, they didn't fight back 1%. But DeSantis caught feelings. And so the reality is, of course, it isn't about feelings. He thinks, oh, if I go after Disney for being too woke, my base will be happy because this is the original bill is about discriminating against people in the LGBTQ community. And DeSantis thinks, not me, DeSantis thinks his base hates the gay community. And so any controversy that gets a lot of attention where DeSantis is seen as the fighter against the LGBTQ community, he thinks is going to be a political win for him. So that's the easy part. But when he turned to, hey, I'm going to take away their authority here in running this town in Florida, I was like, well, I'm not sure they should have that authority. Like, why is a company running a town and why are they deciding where the taxpayer money goes? That doesn't seem right at all. So DeSantis might be accidentally correct here. And like, we should see if they should have ever had that. But when you look into the details, it turns out, no, shockingly, Disney's overpaying in taxes.
Yes.
I almost can't believe it.
I know.
And the reason I think that happened is because the deals were struck such a long time ago.
Totally.
That it was the pre-Buckley v. Valeo decisions in the Supreme Court that allowed for bribery, basically, in America. It was pre-bribery decisions. So Disney actually pays money to 2 nearby counties, taxes, full taxes, and then pays taxes for this area as well. So they're double paying in taxes, and it's their tax money that goes to that $8 million in cops that DeSantis's goons just defunded.
Yeah.
So they take Disney's money and we go, we're not going to give it to you in cops. But it's Disney's money in the first place.
Right. So look, I want to note that they're attempting to defund the police in this area, the Disney deputies. However, that decision will not be finalized until later. September 27th is the final vote on that. So let's hold and wait and see what happens. But the other thing I wanted to bring up and also give credit to a Mediaite writer who shed some light on this, Sarah Rumpf, is that these are the very deputies who actually ended up deterring the Pulse nightclub shooter from shooting up one of their parks. I didn't know this, but apparently the Pulse nightclub wasn't where the shooter initially wanted to carry out that disgusting violent attack that killed dozens of people. He and his wife were scoping out Disney theme parks. So I want to give you a few excerpts from Sarah Rumpf's piece in Mediaite. According to statements the shooter's wife, Noor Salman, made to federal authorities, the couple had scouted several Walt Disney World locations, including the shopping and entertainment complex known as Disney Springs, in the days before the shooting. So at the 2018 trial for her obstruction and aiding her husband in the attack, federal prosecutors entered evidence that included Omar Mateen, that was the shooter, buying a stroller and baby doll at a local Walmart one day before the shooting to smuggle his gun into Disney property, and a video of him walking near the House of Blues on June 12th, several hours before the shooting. In the video, you can see him like looking behind him at police officers standing by.
Yeah, and look, you got to give the conservative case a little bit of credit here. So they say, hey, if we have more good guys with guns and cops surrounding every location, shooters will be less likely to go into those locations. 9 out of 10 times it doesn't work that way at all. They just walk right past the guards and do their mass shooting. We've seen it in school after school, let alone other places. But in this case, they were right. The cops did deter Mateen from shooting there. Unfortunately, they didn't deter him from shooting overall. He just went down the street and killed 49 people at Pulse nightclub and injured another 53. But taking away these officers from Disney could be disastrous. And Disney's in a very tough spot because they can't fight back, I think. And the reason I say that is because if they go to fight back publicly with DeSantis, they'll have to say now there's not as much security at Disney, and that might scare away customers. So they're kind of in a bind here. But this, look, there's so many ironies in the story because politicians trying to hold corporations accountable would be an incredible relief in this country.
It would be an improvement from what we have today.
So welcome, right?
Right.
But of course, as usual, in this case, the Republican DeSantis has found a way to attack a corporation in the only nonsensical way possible.
Well, I mean, look, it really, you have to understand what motivates them and what the ideology is driven by, right? Conservative Republicans like Ron DeSantis do not have a problem with corporate greed. The populism that you see building in the country and has been building in the country for years now stems from the inequality and the corporate greed and all of that. And I don't know for a fact that Ron DeSantis wants to ride that wave and give the illusion that he wants to hold corporations accountable. And he's doing it, not through attacking corporate greed, but specifically because of culture war nonsense, right? But I do think that other Republicans have tried to give this appearance that they're trying to take the corporations to task. I mean, I remember when we had Prager on. I was debating Prager and he's like, I hate corporations. But he wasn't saying that because he hates corporate greed. He was saying that because he doesn't like the woke culture within the corporations.
Yeah, it's their way of feeding the anti-big business fervor that their base has, but misdirecting it. Oh, don't worry about how they're robbing you blind by bribing all the politicians and getting billions of dollars in subsidies. That's your taxpayer money that they're robbing. No, don't be worried about it. Oh, they like gay people, boo. That's what the real problem with companies is. They're ruining your lives and crushing your wages and dignity and respect because they like gay people? And that's the trick that these guys all play. Look, one last thing to our Republican viewers. I challenge you guys. if you're really upset about the woke companies, why don't you ask all the Republican politicians to stop taking their money?
That's a great point.
And by the way, we're honest here and we're fair and principled. We ask all the Democrats to stop taking their money. We don't just ask, we just pound them over and over again about their corruption because they take the money of those corporations. Are you gonna ask your Republican politicians to do that? Are you gonna ask Ron DeSantis to do that? Are you gonna ask Donald Trump to do that? Yes, Donald Trump takes that money too, okay? Are you gonna ask Mitch McConnell to do that? For Mitch McConnell, you might hate him because of Trump, and maybe you'll listen to it there. But remember, they're all corrupt. They all take that company bribes they call campaign contributions. Go ahead, challenge them on it. You'll find out. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.